to initially my first schooling experience was at an inner city school. I was one of maybe like 3 white kids in the whole school, and it was a really underprivileged school. We were the kind of school that other schools had to donate their books to. You know, like when you're saying like, oh, we're going to donate the textbooks to a poor school. We had such difference in textbooks that the teachers would have to plan the lesson plans around things that were similar. So like, the right side of the room would open up to page 62, and the left side would open to 132, and we try to like plan it around that. So I went from that to going to Catholic school, and the kids in Catholic school were learning math and science and things at a level that I wasn't at. So immediately, education-wise, by the time I was in 3rd grade, I was already bumped behind. So that was where I started feeling my first attachment from the rest of the kids in school, was that education-wise, I was not up to par with the other kids. Because of that, I wound up developing and going further into what essentially became a pretty difficult, I guess, roadblock or mental block with mathematics. I wound up having to go into special education for math. I was in AP everything except for mathematics. It was me and another kid who had Down syndrome. That was it. I could not, and to this day I still struggle, and I've been able to get through it, but I could not put together times tables or addition or very simple problems. I couldn't do it. A lot of that came from the fact that I just was thrown into something and everybody else already knew it. And because I was kind of a chubby kid who wore like Misfits t-shirts, there was no interest in teaching me because I wasn't necessarily the right student for what they wanted to be the sort of the representative of the school. So I fell behind very quickly. People don't realize that like nobody really talks about the educational elements of popularity. There's certainly something to be said for if you're falling behind in school and the teachers treat you like shit, then you probably are going to not be that popular because the other kids will take their cues from the adult that's telling them that this kid is kind of shit and looks weird or whatever, and I'm not going to talk to him. So I guess I can empathize with moving schools. Ultimately, I wound up leaving that Catholic school because I was told that I was not Catholic church material, which is when I was officially asked to leave the church, which I like to put on my resume as one of the more interesting moments in my life. I don't think if anybody met me, you would assume that I am someone that would be so offensive that I would be asked to leave a church, but I was. And ultimately, what then happened was I wound up going to public school, and I kind of fell back into where the other kids were. I'm not advocating that you jump schools again, but the best way to assimilate is just to try to find a niche and something that you enjoy. And if you can't do that, then fucking go to school for the hours that you're there, make good grades, and then go home and have your own life and fuck the idiots in school. Don't actually fuck